Hello, and thank you for tuning in. I do hope you're keeping well, certainly amidst all the changes and uncertainty that we're all going through. The past few weeks have naturally been very unsettling, and and extraordinarily, we've all had to change our normal routines, and many people are now working from home and perhaps also homeschooling your children. So, really juggling so many responsibilities and adjusting to new routines and changes. And by now, many of us will also know people who have been through the virus, who have the virus. And really, in the midst of all of this uncertainty and change, it's very natural and normal that we've all had times of stress and anxiety over the past few weeks, and moments of fearing for the people we love, fearing for ourselves, and fearing for how the pandemic is affecting the world, and perhaps moments of feeling quite depleted and sad, helpless, out of control. And that all of these emotions, thoughts, feelings, they're all normal reactions. They're normal reactions to the current uncertainty that we all face. And, often for most of us, when we're stressed or busy, we can also easily let go of the practices, the things, the activities that usually nourish and support our well-being. At times like this, they can really start to feel optional. Um, but yet, it's in these very times that they become essential, that it becomes essential to really nourish, support, and resource yourself. Um, and perhaps you're someone who's used to being the one that helps and supports others. And it's also important to acknowledge that it's just as important and to really replenish your own resources, to include yourself in the compassion that perhaps comes more naturally towards others. And perhaps you've heard that saying that you can't pour from an empty cup. So really kind of knowing that it's okay to still be thinking about the things that you need right now to nourish and support yourself, to resource yourself to be able to cope the best you can with the current situation. And naturally, we've all got really hooked into worrying about the current pandemic. And when we get caught in worrying, especially when we're caught in worrying about things that are just far beyond our control, we can feel quite overwhelmed with anxiety and stress. You perhaps are quite familiar that our minds have a tendency to time travel. So they're really good at thinking or worrying about the future or the past. And yet our body is always present. It's always right here with us. And so it can also be a place where we can anchor, a place where we can gently come back. And so mindfulness practice helps us to return gently to this moment, to really connect with our bodies, our sensed experience right now, and to help us unhook from our thinking minds. And one way that we can kind of understand our thinking mind is to compare it to a radio that's constantly on. So it might flip channels, and some channels are more pleasant than others. And right now, you might notice that there's a coronavirus channel, and that channel's constantly worrying about all the worst case scenarios. And mindfulness can help us to tune into other parts of our experience in the present, parts of our experience that perhaps are more resourcing and helpful right now. That doesn't mean we're trying to turn off our thoughts or turn off the radio, but more that we can just let the radio be in the background and not get so hooked into it. But just like a radio, our thinking minds sometimes alert us, and we get pulled into the thoughts. Just like a radio can grab our attention with breaking news, and before we know it, we're hooked into it. Mindfulness can help us to learn how to gently tune into the present moment so we can come back to the here and now. And in this way, we can learn to perhaps even rest in the uncertainty of not knowing. And one thing that's really struck me over the past few weeks is that amidst all this uncertainty, there have also been many touching moments of communities coming together, supporting one another, and also connecting more with our loved ones, and perhaps really reminding us how important our interconnection is and how much we need one another to get through this. Not just in terms of being able to survive, but also to flourish and live with ease. So this also reminds us that we're nourished and resourced by our connections with one another, and that practicing compassion is just as essential right now. So the practice of mindfulness and compassion, and how that might be really resourcing, really nourishing in these times. So let's practice together. And just to say, it's not about doing it right. And some of you may have practiced mindfulness before, others it might be quite new and you're curious. And this practice is really to support us in grounding and steadying and connecting with our bodies, to really listen to what we need right now to nourish and resource ourselves, and to perhaps learn to unhook from the radio of our minds that perhaps can often take us to places of stress and anxiety. So just before we begin the practice, just finding a comfortable position to sit. You can also lie down if you choose, and those of you who have practiced mindfulness before will know that often you're encouraged to take a wakeful posture, a posture that allows you to really kind of attend to your attention and awareness, and in today's practice perhaps more about sitting with ease, and allowing yourself to find a more easeful and relaxed posture. So I'll just give you a moment to kind of settle into a comfortable position. I'm just going to ring a bell to begin. And so if it feels comfortable, allowing your eyes to close. And just starting by allowing your attention and awareness to come into your body. Just sensing the ground beneath you. Perhaps feeling your feet on the ground. And that sense of the ground and the earth holding you, supporting you right now. Not so much thinking about it, but really sensing into how the body feels grounded. It may be through connecting with your feet on the ground, the sensations of the surface beneath you, supporting and holding you right now. Or perhaps where you're sitting, the sense of the chair, the surface holding and supporting you. And as you sit and feel the sense of the ground beneath you, the sense of the earth holding you, seeing if you can just let yourself sink a little deeper, allowing your body to be at ease. A sense of trusting the ground, feeling the heaviness of your body, the heaviness of the body pushing downwards into the ground, the weightiness. That's all we're doing, is just feeling and sensing the ground and the earth. A sense of support and holding. And perhaps bringing awareness to the parts of your body where there's a sense of ease. Just noticing where in your body do you feel a sense of wellness, a sense of okayness. Often when we're stressed or feeling some distressing emotion, we might notice the lower parts of our body still hold some sense of ease. There might be some sense of calm, wellness, okayness. Just sensing where that is in your body. And sensing and feeling it right now. Sometimes your feet on the ground or your legs, your bottom, or perhaps your hands resting. Wherever it might be, there's no right or wrong. We're just sensing into the parts of the body that feel at ease, that feel well. And perhaps the sensations here are more gentle, and just noticing what the easefulness feels like. How you know this part of the body is at ease. Perhaps there's a softness. Perhaps the muscles are more relaxed. However it is, just tuning in that whatever is here right now, there's also this sense of ease, a place where you can rest, a place to anchor and come back. It's okay to just tune into the sensations here right now. That's all we're doing, is tuning into the easefulness in the body. Letting it be as it is. And just sensing the easefulness, how it feels. Not so much thinking about it, but noticing the physical sensations of ease, of wellness, of okayness. And as you tune into these sensations, to these parts of the body, naturally your attention might be pulled towards areas of the body where there might be some discomfort. And that's okay. When you notice that happening, noticing also that there's this place of ease, a place where you can rest, a place for your attention to anchor. And bringing a warm and friendly awareness to this place of ease. Letting it be. And starting to notice your breathing. Just noticing where you feel your breath. And if you notice any holding or tightness in your breath, allowing the breath to lengthen a little, to slow a little. And in slowing and lengthening the breath, a sense of calming the sympathetic nervous system. Just allowing yourself to take a few longer breaths, a few slower breaths. And then tuning into the rhythm of your breathing. Noticing where you feel your breath the most. There's no right or wrong. Sometimes we feel the breath in the nostrils, the slightly cooler air coming in and the slightly warmer air as we breathe out. And perhaps the kind of gentle flaring of your nostrils as the breath flows in and out. Or perhaps you might notice your breath lower down in your chest or your abdomen. And noticing that gentle rising of the body as you inhale, and how the body falls and releases as you exhale. And if you like, you can place the hand over your abdomen. And as you do this, noticing the sensations of rising and falling against your hand. Allowing this to be an anchor. Just gently attending to your breath. Bringing a friendly and warm awareness. Don't have to change your breathing in any way, but just gently attending to the rhythm, to the rise and fall. Connecting with the sensations of breathing. And just following the cycles of your body, inhaling and then exhaling. And noticing how resting and connecting with your breath can be a place to really anchor. And when we feel pulled away by thoughts, or we get lost in thought, or perhaps pulled away by a strong wave of emotion, that our breath is always with us. It's a place where we can always come back to. And just noticing that now, this sense of feeling the breath, feeling that gentle rise and fall in the body as you breathe. And just noticing where your attention is right now. And if your mind has wandered, remember that's normal. Our minds love to time travel, they love to think and get lost in thought. And so, whenever that happens, remember it's a bit like a radio. And so, perhaps just letting the radio chatter away in the background and seeing if you can gently bring your attention back. Bringing it back to connecting with the breath, connecting with the rise and fall of the breath in your body, sensing and feeling this breath. And in this way, we can start to connect with the sensations in our body. And in those connections, find anchors, anchors for our attention. So when we get pulled away by our thinking minds, when the radio gets too loud, that we have these anchors in the body that we can come back to, that help us to reconnect with this moment. And so, as you feel the breath rising and falling, remembering we're not changing the breath in any way, just letting it flow with ease. And perhaps noticing where in the body you might be holding tension or tightness. And naturally, when we've been stressed, the body can start to hold on to tension. About gently scanning the body and noticing the parts of the body that perhaps can relax a little, soften a little. So perhaps as you sit, allowing your shoulders to drop down a little and just unclenching any muscles that are tightening. So unclenching your jaw, unclenching your stomach, uncreasing your forehead. And it's natural that our bodies can hold discomfort and even pain. And if you feel pulled away by these sensations, just taking a moment to gently reconnect with a part of your body that feels at ease, feels perhaps a little more at ease. And this can be your feet on the ground, might be where your hands are resting, or perhaps it might be the movement of your breath, that gentle rise and fall. And just sensing that easefulness and knowing that this is a place that you can always come back to. It's always here. And your body's always here. And so often when we get lost in thoughts, especially when they're difficult thoughts, it can feel difficult to find a way out. And so in this practice, starting to notice that there are places in your own body that can provide anchors, a place to rest, and just sensing and feeling the easefulness. Feeling the rise and fall of your breath. Allowing your awareness to be warm. And whenever you feel pulled away or you notice your breath holding or contracting in some way, allowing yourself to take a few longer breaths, a few slower breaths, just breathing. Allowing your breath to be your anchor. And each time you get kind of distracted by thoughts or the thinking mind is really loud and hooking you in, perhaps try to see it like a radio. And so just like a radio, you can let it be in the background. You don't have to listen. And instead you can choose to place your attention in the body, sensing your feet on the ground, the movement of your breath. And as you sit, truly sensing your body sitting, this sense of your body sitting and breathing, and bringing this kind of warm and friendly attention to the sensations you find. And taking a moment to bring to mind someone that you care for deeply. Just imagining bringing to mind someone that really means a lot to you, someone you value, you care for, where there's a lot of love and care. And just imagine wishing them a sense of ease and a sense of kind of peace in their hearts in the midst of all of this uncertainty. And you can use whatever words you like, whatever words feel right for you, but in your own way, wishing them peace in their hearts and wishing them a sense of ease through this difficult time. So just expressing your heartfelt wishes in whatever way feels right for you. And now bringing to mind other people that you know, so friends and family, colleagues at work, and just imagining wishing them peace in their hearts and a sense of ease and being well. And just expressing your heartfelt wishes for them to be able to live through this time with a sense of ease, live through this time being well. Just expressing your kindness, your compassion in whatever way feels right for you, using whatever words feel right. And taking a moment to bring to mind people that you don't know, but you know that are also affected by this pandemic in some way. Bringing to mind people who live in the next town to you, the people who live in other countries, all the doctors and nurses across the world, all the people working in healthcare services that are supporting in this pandemic. Just take a moment to extend these heartfelt wishes to them, to wish them to be well, to wish them peace in their hearts, a sense of ease in living through this. And perhaps also gratitude and appreciation for all that they're doing. Just expressing your heartfelt wishes in a way that feels okay for you. And now turning towards yourself and imagining wishing yourself peace in your heart and a sense of ease in living through these difficult times. And really sensing and giving yourself the heartfelt wishes that you expressed for everyone else. Just wishing yourself well, wishing that you get through this time with also a sense of courage and strength, as well as a sense of easefulness and with peace in your heart. And just taking a moment to notice how you're feeling right now. It's natural that in wishing compassion and wellness in these circumstances can really stir up emotions. And so however you're feeling right now, it's okay. And as we wishing and imagining, sometimes our attention can start to move upwards into our heads, into our thinking minds. And so just take a moment to drop into your body. Take a moment to sense your breath, to feel the rise and fall of breathing. And sometimes when we start to feel emotions, there can be a tightening in the breath, or we might sense it in the breath in some way, a contracting. And if you notice this, seeing what it's like to just slow down your breathing, allow the breath to slow, allow it to lengthen. And perhaps place your hand on your tummy and just connect again with that rise and fall of your breath. That whatever's here right now, that this can also be a place to anchor, a place that helps us to connect with the present moment. And just taking a moment to notice where in the body there's a sense of ease right now. Whether it's your feet on the ground or where your hands are resting. And just sensing that easefulness in the body. That whatever else is here right now, that there's also this sense of ease. And that they can be here together. And just allowing yourself to be as you are, feeling your body sitting and breathing, feeling the ground and the earth supporting and holding you, and noticing the anchors in your body, the parts that are easeful, the breath, and just holding all of this in awareness, allowing it to be here, sensing it. Okay, so thank you very much, and I hope you found the practice helpful today, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon, and perhaps offering other practices that may be of support during this time. So thank you, and I wish you all well. Take care.